Good morning, dear students. In the previous class, we discussed under the title Aristotle's Observations on Tragedy. We discussed 2 points. One is the origin of tragedy, another one, characteristics of tragedy. Let me continue those subtopics. Let me discuss first now the constituent parts. Aristotle finds 6 constituent parts in tragedy. Tragedy comprises these 6 constituent parts in the order: the first one, plot, character, thought, diction, song, and spectacle. Students, 6 constituent parts: plot, character, thought. These 3 are the objects of the imitation. But being the imitator, he may imitate these 3 objects. They are plot, character, and thought. But to imitate, he needs a medium. So he has two media. One is diction, another one song. But he follow a particular manner to imitate. That manner is spectacle. So, in total, there are 6 constituent parts of the tragedy. The order is plot, character, thought, diction, song, and spectacle. First 3, plot, character, thought, are the objects of the imitation. Diction and song are the media to imitate, and the last one, spectacle, is the part in which the imitator, in which manner the imitator imitates. So, let us discuss one by one. The first one is plot. In the order, the first comes plot. The plot, or the arrangement of the incidents. Plot means arrangement of the incidents in the novel or the drama or any other narration. So, the plot or the arrangement of incidents. So, the plot is the chief part of the tragedy. Plot is the chief plot of the tragedy. For tragedy is an imitation not of men but of an action and of life, and a life consists in action. So, tragedy being an imitative art, it imitates. Tragedy is an imitation not of men but actions of men and life of men. Actually, life consists in actions. Okay, so students, now there is a question: whether plot makes a tragedy or character? This is the question raised by the scholars earlier. Before this, Aristotle. What makes a tragedy? Whether plot or character? For this question, Aristotle replies that without action there can't be a tragedy. Without action there can't be a tragedy. See, he says that action is more important, an essential part. Without action, there can't be a tragedy. But without character, there can be a tragedy. Without character, there can be a trust. Without having any character, simply by the incidents, we can feel pity. We can feel fear. Suddenly, if two cars met with an accident, we can feel fear. With that incident, without having any character, we can get such emotions. We may be terrified with that incident. That's why actions are important. So, of course, without men, there would be no actions. See, without action, there can't be a tragedy. But without character, there is possibility for composition of trust or a tragic effect at least. But he says the actions themselves issue from characters. Already I told you. We consider the actions of the men, not the actions of any other things. That's why actions themselves issue from characters. Of course, he considered without character we can felt that tragic effect, but still it is incomplete. But without plot or without action, there can't be a tragedy. So finally, Aristotle says about character. Character determines men's qualities. Character determines men's qualities, but it is by their actions that they are happy or the reverse. Character is manifested in action. The character of an individual is manifested in action. That's why he says, character determines men's qualities, no doubt, but those qualities are manifested in the actions. By the actions only we can assess or estimate whether an individual is happy or not, whether an individual is sincere or not. So, character is manifested in the actions. Tragedy is written not merely to imitate men, but to imitate men in action. So, action is important point here. For the composition of tragedy, action is important. That's why we or these composers or imitators, they may imitate actions of the men. So, it is by their deeds means actions. It is by their deeds performed before our eyes that we know them rather than by what the poet, as in the epic, tells them. We know more about the characters by their deeds performed before our eyes rather than what the poet narrates in his narration. In the epic, generally the poet may narrate the story, and by his narration he reveals the characters. But the actions that are performed before our eyes are more effective to reveal the characters rather than in the narration that is done in epic. So he says, it is these deeds or the incidents that are woven into a plot, they matter more than the character. Since deeds issue from the character is the next only in importance to plot. Deeds issue from character. But he gave second place to character, because that character is revealed only in actions or by the narration of a poet or of a narrator. So after this character, first we discussed plot, incidents of actions, and character, that is the qualities of the individual, which can be known by the deeds or actions of the individual. And now let us move to third point, that is thought. So then follows thought, or what a character thinks or feels during his career in the play. Thought is what a character thinks or feels during his career in the play. That means his role in the play, or the time or the space given to a particular character in the play. During that period, he may think or feel something. That is thought. It reveals itself in speech. In the tragedy, so the thought reveals itself in speech. In dramas, we can find monologue. Speaking, or we can say on the stage, the character may reveal his thought. And sometimes he may express his feelings by turning aside like this and speaking something. This is speaking aside and speaking to the self in monologue. Likewise, in the expressions, this thought be revealed. It reveals itself in speech. As plot imitates actions and character imitates men, so thought imitates men's mental and emotional reactions to the circumstances in which they find themselves. So plot imitates actions, character imitates men. Now the thought imitates men's mental and emotional reactions to the circumstances in which they find themselves. So this thought, in the sense, the reaction, the mental and emotional reactions to the circumstances, that is the thought. Or that's what this thought imitates. So all these three constituent parts, that is the plot, character and thought, all these three constitute the poet's objects of imitation in a tragedy. From these three ways, the poet may imitate. Three are the objects what the poet imitates. To accomplish them, he employs the medium of diction, or verse embellished with each kind of artistic ornament, of which song is one. So his artistic arrangement, by making artistic arrangement of the verse, he conveyed or he utilized this media, diction and song. What is the diction? A unique arrangement of verse to give this poetic effect, to raise the poetic effect. That is diction, the unique arrangement of verse in a sentence, or the artistic arrangements of sentence. So, to accomplish them, he employs the medium of diction, or words embellished with each kind of artistic ornament, of which song is one. So these two, diction and song, these two are media through which this imitator imitates the above mentioned objects, plot, character and thought. For spectacle or stage representation, spectacle in the sense here stage representation, though it is the last of the six constituent parts and is connected least with the art of poetry, but it is the work of the stage mechanic, the spectacle or the stage representation. Yes, students, in Natya Shastra we will study why those lights, red light and green light and blue light and other lights, orange light, why those lights may be focused. A drama is going on, a drama is performing, or the characters performing something on the stage. This is the sixth constituent part, that is a spectacle or a stage representation. This spectacular effect is also important to arouse those emotions of pity and fear in tragedy. Of course, without a stage representation, we have to note that it is important to note that the power of tragedy is felt even apart from representation and actors. Even by reading, we can feel such tragic effect. By reading, also we can feel such tragic effect without representation, stage representation, and without characters. Actors, not characters, actors, to represent something on stage. Like the epic, it serves its purpose even when read and not acted at all. So that's why Aristotle considers this tragedy is superior to epic, because in the same manner how this epic will narrate the story, by the actions in the tragedy the story may be revealed. In case of epic, by reading we can understand and we can feel that poetic effect. In the same manner, even by reading also, in that by reading tragedy, we can feel the same tragic effect. If it is performed on the stage, then it will be more effective. Of course, we will study Natya Shastra, then we can come to know how these actions that are performed on the stage may influence the horse. Sahradaya, there is a word Sahradaya. Okay, we shall discuss that. So, dear students, in this part we discussed six constituent parts: plot, character, thought. These three are the objects what the poet or the imitator imitates. But to imitate these three objects, he needs a media, that is a diction and song. But he imitates in a particular manner, that is a spectacle. Okay, these are the six constituent parts. Plot is arrangement of incidents, which is the chief part of tragedy. Character is the individual's quality, which may be manifested in the actions. We can come to know by the actions what may be the quality or the character of an individual. And third one, thought. During his career in the play, what the character thinks or feels, that is thought. Then diction. Diction is a unique style of arrangement of words. A unique style of arrangement of words to create a poetic effect, that is diction. And song, we know the composition of a song. Okay, in dramas we can find songs. See, in animal form there is a animal form that was written by George Orwell. In that he composed a song which can motivate them. Okay, like a patriotic song, he composed that. So, next one, the last but not least, the spectacle. Spectacle means the stage representation, or we can say in Natya Shastra we use the word histrionic representation. Histrionic representation. Okay. So, of course, without this stage performance, the same tragic effect can be felt. So, yes, students, this is the point. That is its constituent parts. This is the third sub point we discussed. Okay, the first point we discussed is its origin of the tragedy. And the next point we discussed characteristics of tragedy. Now this is the third point, its constituent parts. Okay, still 3 more points are there to be discussed. They are the structure of the plot, and simple and complex plot, and next one, tragic hero. You should learn this content carefully. That's why I made this video only on one point, that is its constituent parts. This is the important, dear students. So practice well, watch this video carefully, thoroughly, and make notes out of this video, and learn and study them with the earlier material what you noted down from the videos. And also I shared material also. I shared observations on poetry, Aristotle's observations on poetry. I shared the material on that topic. Okay, once I finish all these 6 points under the title His Observations on Tragedy, I am going to share the material on these 6 topics, subtopics of observations of Aristotle on tragedy. Thank you, dear students. Happy learning.